What's up, everybody? I'm Dave Miranda, and this is episode 147 of Just Give Me 5. I hope you guys are doing great. Continue to be amazing. We got a really great episode for you today. But first things first, I need you to hit that like button, I need you to hit that subscribe, and I need you to spread the word about Just Give Me 5, all right? Now, if you guys caught episode 146, you saw we had none other than my man Hector Primero, and let me tell you, you know, man, Hector is just such a gem to the neighborhood, man. You know, everything that he's to the community, from his clothing brand, you know, everything he's doing with the NFL, you know, working in media, you know, even like his side little hustle that he's working with the Suns. I mean, you name it, man. You know, that guy, and he just has such good energy. You know, it's like, and everybody you talk to about him is like, yo, like, how could you be mad at Hector, right? Like, he's just a good dude, man, all around. And he has a really great story. Like I said, it was really great, you know, because with you know, God rest his soul, man, the homie DJ Big Surge, you know, he's the one who recommended Hector to me before he passed away. So, you know, it was something that was just, I felt like it was meant to be, man. And I'm really happy that we're able to get him on here. So if you haven't seen episode 146, make sure you do so. And, you know, shout out to you again, my brother. It was a really good time. All right. But today's guest is an absolute legend in the film industry and definitely deserves his flowers. We're going to talk about what made him get into acting, as well as playing the role of young JD in the classic film American Me. Also him playing in Gang Related with the legendary Tupac Shakur. Some TV shows as well as Sons of Anarchy. What he's got going on next. And so much more. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you Steve Willcox.
Hey everyone, this is Steve Willcox, aka Young JD from American Me, and all I'm saying is just give me 5. I was 13 years old in high school in Venezuela, and by starting 7th grade, we got a choice of an activity, and I chose drama as my last choice because I wanted to do fencing and wrestling. There was nothing else. I didn't get fencing, I didn't get wrestling, I got drama. I was really bummed out, but after my first class, I fell in love with it. My first role, I was in college, and I got a small part, a very small part, in a sitcom called Roomies with Corey Haim and Burt Young. And my scene was with Corey Haim. Corey Haim was like the nerd, and I was one of the roommates rejecting, not wanting to live with him because he was such a nerd. And I'd never been on a set, so when I booked it, I show up on the set. Corey Haim's kind of cocky because he was already the big little star that he was. And there was a voice from, the director wasn't even on the floor. I just hear this voice from God saying, "Okay, Mr. Willcox, we need you on your mark." And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And Corey Haim actually helped me out. He said, there it is, because I was about to get yelled at. So Corey Haim did me a solid. Amazing. It was one of my first gigs. I hadn't done much, and then all of a sudden I landed this amazing role. Edward James Olmos gave me the opportunity to play with the big boys. An amazing story about that, in my opinion, is when I got the meeting to meet Edward James Olmos, I show up with I had a briefcase, and I had a VHS, my reel, whatever I had in it, which was like made up scenes and stuff, was on a VHS. I show up at Universal Studios early in the morning. He's there on the phone. He's finishing a phone call, and he's kind of checking me out. And then I noticed that my picture's up on the wall next to William Forsythe's, who I was a big fan of already. And so he starts talking to me, and then William Forsythe walks in, the casting director walks in. All of a sudden, there's all these producers. And he's talking to me about like, I'm going to have to shave my head and it's going to be a very dangerous project to work on and stuff. And then at one point he stops talking about me and starts talking to the producers about what they're going to do that day. And I'm sitting there really uncomfortable and I interrupt. I'm like, excuse me, did you just cast me or something? And he just kind of laughs and says, yeah. And I'm kind of like trying to act cool. And I'm like, well, don't you want to look at my reel? And he just started laughing and he goes, you know what? I'll get you there. Don't worry. And he did. He did get me there. So most people in Hollywood make you jump through all these hoops, but every now and then there's people like Utter James Olmos that give you the benefit of the doubt. And that's cool.
And what was your experience like on the set, though, of American Me?
On the set, it was amazing. We were working in East LA and like in Hazard, which was like gangland. There was warring factions going on. There was a gang coordinator there who was no longer with us, and she was there keeping the peace. So we were prepared for all this strife, and me being a white kid, I didn't know what to expect. And we walked in there, and the people in the neighborhood, the kids from Hazard, the gangs from Hazard, welcomed us with arms open. I think they were like flattered. They were, I think, enamored with the fact that somebody as cool as Edward James Olmos was telling their story. So they basically, it was like a baptism. They welcomed us into the neighborhood. I never, ever, I was probably wrong, but I never, ever felt that there was danger. I felt like I was being protected. It was awesome. I'll tell you about the films that mean a lot to me, that, you know, really meant a lot to me. I had a supporting role in a film called Gang Related and the reason why that was awesome is it was with Tupac. It was the last film he did before he died. And I didn't realize this, but when I walked in there, Tupac was a fan of American Me. And all of a sudden he was treating me like I was a star. And he was like, you know, this movie's amazing. I actually have a project that I want to work with you and stuff. And Belushi was kind of a bully on the set. And so Tupac kind of took it upon himself to defend me because I made a creative choice in the scene that we had. And the director questioned it, and Belushi kind of stepped in like the bully that he was, and Tupac defended me. So it was very cool. I will never forget that. Years later, I'm Venezuelan, and I never got to work in Venezuela because I started working in the States. Years later, I got the opportunity to work in this amazing Venezuelan film that was kind of like the first blockbuster, and I got to play Venezuelan, which was something I don't always get to do. And it was an amazing opportunity. It was basically like Venezuela's Die Hard. It was an action film, you know, hostage takeover. And so that's very memorable to me. And then recently I had the opportunity to work in two really cool series that can be seen on Amazon Prime, by the way. One is called SOZ, Soldiers or Zombies, basically a zombie genre film. It was a lot of fun. I got to play a DEA agent who was, you know, trying to save the world from zombies. And then most recently, La Cabeza de Joaquin Murrieta, which is Western. It's on Prime Video. I play Harry Love. That's basically the white villain. And it was an amazing opportunity. It's like a Sergio Leone Western. I recommend it. I'm going to give you three cool Tupac stories. They were cool to me. When I did Gang Related, I had recently done American Me, and American Me was a family affair. Like Eddie almost made you feel like you were at home. So he invited us to go on the set even when we weren't working. And that being one of my first movies, I thought that that's the way it was. And then after that, I did an indie film where, again, it was like family affair, so we behaved that way. So I get Gang Related. I'm really excited, and I find out that they're shooting somewhere near where I was in Hollywood. So I go over to the set, which was shooting in a hotel, and the first person I see is the producer. And I'm like, hey, and literally the producer looks at me and starts going through his clipboard like, why are you here? Are you supposed to be here? It was all about insurance. We have to pay for you and stuff. Are you going to eat for free? So I didn't feel very welcome. And so I was kind of like, all right, this is a bad idea. I'm going to split. And I run into Tupac, and out of everyone, he sees me and he walks over to me and gives me a big hug. So he made me feel welcome from the get-go. And then we had already shot one scene. So the next scene that we were shooting, I was in downtown LA. I had parked my car in the lot where I was supposed to. and I'm walking. I have to cross the street to go to the old building that they were shooting at, and I didn't realize that they had blocked off all the streets because they were doing a traffic shot where it was part of the movie. So I'm innocent. I'm walking down the street in downtown LA, and all of a sudden I hear this guy like, "Hey," saying all these bad words to me and stuff, like, "I'm gonna kick your ass when I see you," and stuff. And I was like, whoa, I'm just being like threatened by somebody that I don't know. And I look over and I had really bad eyesight. I didn't have my contacts on. And I look over in the car and it's this guy like insulting me. And I look closer and it's Tupac. He was in the car with Jim Belushi. They were doing like ride by, they were being filmed while they were doing this. And I was just like amazed that this guy, this icon, was like, felt comfortable enough with me that he was messing with me. And if anybody else saw that and didn't know, they'd be like, "Oh my God, this guy's being like threatened by Tupac." I thought that was cool. And then the coolest story was I was filming a scene where basically I'm supposed to be a perp. So I'm in the interrogation room, and Tupac and Belushi are the cops, and they passed me this gun that they want my fingerprints on so that they can frame me for a murder. And the joke is that my character is onto them. He knows what's going on. So I take the gun. I end up, spitting on the fingerprints to like wipe them away. But when one time we're doing it, the director just had to shoot the scene. When I got the gun, I thought it was very natural that I kind of pointed it at him as a joke. And they both reacted in character. Like Belushi kind of went like that, and Tupac like threw a pencil at me and stuff. And then we finished the scene, and then the director's like, "Okay, everybody, that was good, but Mr. Wilcox, do you mind doing it again? This time, don't point the gun." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I was just trying something because I felt natural." And then Jim Belushi became like assistant director. He's like, "Yeah, man, you don't do that because I would kick your ass if I was a cop." And because he's the star and I'm not, I'm kind of like, "All right, I'm going to take this." And Tupac stepped up and said, "You know what? I've been in prison, and that's exactly what I would do." So there was this like tension between Belushi and Tupac, and the director didn't want this to happen. So the director's like, "All right, let's just do it one with and one without." So we did it, and when I saw the finished movie a year later, I'm pointing the gun. So Tupac's instincts were good. And those are the stories. When I was working on Gang Related with Tupac, and he was, I guess when he recognized me from American Me, he was kind of like, "Oh my God, you were in this film. It was, I loved it, blah, blah, blah." And then he kept like remembering more stuff about it. And then he's like, "By the way, I sampled you in one of my tracks." And I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, and I said, "Which one?" And he said, "Strictly for My Niggas." And I had a friend who worked in a record store back then, so he got it for me. I wasn't I didn't know Tupac's music, actually. I listened to it backwards and forwards. I couldn't find it. So then the next time I saw him on the set, I'm like, "Tupac, I got the CD, but I can't find the song you're talking about." And he goes, "What did I tell you?" And I said, "Strictly for My Niggas." And he goes, "Oh, no, I messed up. It's actually Me Against the World. But you know what? I'll bring it next week, and I'll just give you a copy, and that way you have it." And I'm like, "Cool." And lo and behold, the week after, he got shot in Vegas, so I never saw him again. I finally found the copy. I bought it, and I listened to it, and it's amazing. It's like Tupac sampled my voice from American Me in this cool song called "Death Around the Corner." And at the end of "Death Around the Corner," he also samples Robert De Niro from The Untouchables, where he's like, "I want him dead. I want his whole family dead. I want his house burned to the ground." So I can say that I've worked with Tupac and De Niro. What's up next for me? Booking a job. Are you directing anything? You mean by my family? It feels amazing. It feels, first of all, the fact that I'm in a project that was done over 30 years ago, and whenever I get recognized or whenever I go to these conventions and stuff, the love and respect that I get from the diehard fans is unbelievable. It's, if I never work again, I will always know that I worked on a movie like American Me that people still talk about today. All right, guys, I'm Steve Wilcox, and that was my 5.
And there you have it. Man, shout out to you again, Steve. You know, it was just truly such an honor, you know. So we had the Arizona Super Show, had an incredible lineup, and I'm walking through the crowd, you know, checking out the vehicles, checking out the booths, and then who do I stumble across? Steve Wilcox and Panchito Gomez from American Me. And it was just, immediately just took me right back to, God, what was it, 4th grade, I believe I was when I saw the film. And you know, it's just so amazing, man. It's always great when you get a chance to, you know, meet people that you grew up on, and they're actually good people, right? You know, they always say don't meet your heroes. Steve was just true, just a genuinely like kind human being, man. And Panchito was too. It was just really, really awesome to connect with you guys. Really, really thank you, you know, for taking the time to be on our show. We were able to make that happen. And, you know, your story is just, it's amazing, you know, and it's like, I literally just remember watching these films and, you know, to see you still continuing to shine and thrive, you know, through all these years. It's a blessing, man, and it's just something really, really beautiful. So I want to thank you again, my brother. We wish you the best over here at Nothing Less at Just Give Me 5. You know, just continue to evolve, you know, and shine like, you know, like the star you are. So thank you again. Make sure you guys are following him on social media. And shout out to my brother, Jimmy Nelson, on that camera. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. Well, this was definitely one for the books. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, though. Until next time, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay healthy, and just give me 5, y'all.
Everything you get, you got